Welcome back to another Bolt tutorial. In this video, we're going to cover essential prompting techniques so you can save time and tokens when it comes to prompting in your Bolt project. Let's dive in. Let's look at our initial prompt. Let's build a two-sided local marketplace for hosting yoga classes in public spaces. Clicking an event should open a preview drawer from the right-hand side. Notice if we know the UX pattern, then it's best to specify it by name. Now, obviously, there's a lot left up in the air with this prompt. I haven't defined the database or anything about the host's experience, but that's fine for now. If we give the agent too much to work on at once, it can reduce its efficacy. So I like to prompt it part by part. Now, the first skill for you to know is the Enhance Prompt feature. Click on the plus and click on Enhance Prompt. This rewrites the prompt and structures it so the agent can best comprehend it. Let's read through this. Looks good. Now, the second prompting skill, and this is very powerful, is putting your agent in plan mode. This lets the agent come up with a detailed plan and ask you necessary clarifying questions before it builds it out. Next, let's choose the model for the job. I recommend opting for performance when you're building a project from scratch. You can use the smaller models to save tokens when you're making small tweaks. But building this project from scratch, I'm going to choose Opus 4.7. Feel free to add a design system. There are some open source options here, but I want something unique for this, so I'm going to leave that blank and let's generate our plan. The agent's generated the plan, and this is where you're going to get the most out of your Bolt agent, reading through the implementation plan. It wants to set up a Bolt database, create a design system and visual foundation, slide out event drawer, RSVP, and more. If we're happy with that, let's go ahead and answer the clarifying questions. What I love about the clarifying questions is it'll often ask you edge cases, which maybe you haven't considered before. For example, it's asking, should it include a map view toggle, something we didn't specify in the prompt, but upon consideration, I think it's a good idea to include. Now, because we're answering the clarifying questions, don't click implement this plan. We're going to turn it off plan mode, and we're going to send off the prompt with the questions answered in the input box build. So the agent's finished working, and have a look at this. Doesn't it look great? It's using unique fonts. I like this green. If we hover over any of these event cards, we can see that they get a slight hover animation. What happens if we click one? Yes, just like that, it slides out with a drawer from the right-hand side, and there's more information about the class here. The Bolt agent has added date, level, time, location, the teacher, the type of yoga, the price, even adding details about the class, and a what to bring section. Quite impressive. I like this little touch, reserve your mat. Let's see if the RSVP works. Great, just like that, and it's confirmed we're locked in for the class. Let's look at our database, RSVPs, and our attendance has been successfully recorded. It looks good, but let's add a section underneath the classes advocating for the benefits of yoga. One of the most important skills you can learn when it comes to agentic development is understanding your agent's context window. This is effectively everything the agent has had to consider and create along its process so far. The agent's had to scaffold this page, create the slide out drawers, even create the database schema. If we want to add a new section into this landing page, a lot of that is no longer relevant. And that's when you can use the clear context command. Simply type /clear and enter. You don't need to worry too much about the agent losing your conversation history because it can easily build this back up again by looking through the code base. Between any major features, it's best to clear the context like this. Now we're ready to implement. Here's our prompt. Please add a new section underneath the yoga class listings. This should have a dark green background with a white font, and it should advocate the benefits of doing yoga. It's not a particularly complex ask, so no need to go into plan mode, and let's build it out. So here we are. With that prompt and a refinement prompt, we've arrived at this new Why Yoga section. It looks great. If you want to select a particular section of the page, for example, when I click on this yoga card, I want to select this blurred green section here. Let's use the select tool. Now, by default, when we click select and we hover over any elements, it will select the top layer. However, we have the ability to toggle the option to pick from layers. When we click something, it shows us all the different layers that we can choose from, allowing us to choose components which are behind the top layer. Let's select the blur instead of the page behind it and prompt, please make this blur stronger and the green darker and more opaque. Build. The agent's finished. Now when we click on a yoga card, we can see that prompt had full effect. Another important consideration is your project knowledge. By default, every project you create will have this project knowledge. The Bolt agent considers the text that you have here upon every single prompt. For example, if you've added a design markdown file in your project root and you want your Bolt agent to reference this whenever building out new components, this is where you tell your agent so it can remember this every single time. For example, please read and use guidance from the design markdown file in the project root whenever building out new components, and save. For this demo, I've just created a new file, design markdown file, and this is where you'd add your design guidance. Make sure to save this. As mentioned before, if you want to make a small tweak, for example, let's change this icon here, that can be done by one of the less compute hungry models. This is a great way to save tokens. Let's change to haiku and be specific in your prompt. Here's our prompt. In the page navigation, there is a leaf icon in a green circle on the left-hand side of the word grove. Look how specific we've been. Please change this leaf to a tree. Even better, let's use the select tool. Select, click the icon, choose the SVG and build. Another tool to be aware of is the ability to modify images. Let's go into our settings, all project settings, and down in add-on features, you'll see image generation. Turn text prompts into AI generated images without leaving the conversation. This uses Google's Nano Banana Pro to generate these images. Let's turn this on and save it. Now I could directly prompt to create an image here, or I can choose to modify images too. Let's select this image here, choose the image, and now edit with AI. Here's our prompt. Change this to a photorealistic image of a group of people doing yoga in a park, and build. Bolt has generated this new image. Notice that if it's a different aspect ratio, we may see the old image above and below it. We can either continue to modify this image, and if we're happy, we can say, use this image. Let's clear the context again. Here's our prompt. Please add a section underneath the why yoga section and generate an image here with a lady doing a cat pose. Add annotations to this image pointing out the benefits that they will receive. For example, improved gut health with a drawn arrow pointing to her gut. Also, improved mental focus with a line pointing to her mind. Add 6 to 8 benefits and build. So the agent's finished and it's generated this image. Perhaps they're a little bit clustered and it could use some tweaking, but not bad for a first attempt. Another way you can prompt your agent is by using screenshots. Say you find a design that inspires you. You can take a screenshot and drag and drop that screenshot directly here into the Bolt agent. Alternatively, you can click Attach File and choose the file from your computer. Now that that's been added, let's build out a new hero section using this as inspiration. Here's our prompt. Using the screenshot provided as inspiration, please improve the hero section to look more like this image. Generate an image of a girl in yoga clothes sitting cross-legged on the right-hand side with the header and hero text on the left of her. Build. And there we go. In one prompt, it's created this new hero section. Another important thing to know is your version history. If you ever find yourself getting too stuck, just resort to a previous version that you know was working and try a different approach. Simply click on a version and click Restore this version. Finally, once you're ready to publish, don't forget to use our prompt library. This is a great place to discover prompts specifically around accessibility, SEO, usability, and more. The right-hand side shows you a preview of the prompt, and by clicking the prompt, it'll populate it in the prompt box for you to build. And there we go. In this video, we've covered the core principles for you to be prompting with excellence in your Bolt project. Remember to be specific, don't leave anything up to interpretation, use plan mode, clear the context, and most importantly, have fun. As always, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If there's any specific content you'd like to learn more about, please leave it in the comments below and we'll do our best to get to it. And with that, all the best building out your project.